Modi, in my opinion, is not a politician. He is a statesman. He is not just interested in elections and votes, he is interested in his people. This is the kind of people we need in politics. I never knew Narendra Modi in the sense, of course I knew he is a politician, his name was there in the papers, etc., etc. And I also knew that he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And I was travelling from London to Bombay after I examined in London, Royal College. He was also travelling in the same plane and we were both in the first class compartment, first class cabin, where only two of us were there. Of course, the Royal College pays the ticket, otherwise I can't afford to be in the first class. So while coming back, this man was sitting in front, I was sitting at the last seat, and I just kept on reading what I was doing, because I didn't want to go and introduce myself to a politician, because I didn't want to curry favors or I didn't want any bed crumbs thrown at me. But after breakfast, this man walks over to my seat, sits by the side, and starts a conversation. He says, what are you, where are you going, what are you doing, etc., etc. After this exchange of pleasantries, he started asking very insightful questions on health, and I tried to impress upon him that health care is totally different and divorced from medical care. Because most of our politicians have an idea that hospitals and doctors keep society healthy. This is the most foolish thinking. Hospitals and doctors have nothing to do with health care. Health care requires 5 things: a clean environment, clean air, clean water, clean food, and then sunlight and earth. These 5 things are the job of PWD, civil engineers and sanitation people, and no one else. And all these things we discussed, and over next 9 hours we discussed this. Non-stop we were discussing, and he had the enthusiasm to listen, and I unfortunately had the enthusiasm to tell him all that. Now we departed. After that I forgot. 4 years later, I had written an article on prenatal causes of postnatal disease. And I get a phone call one day from one Mr. Jai Narayan Vyas, actually Dr. Jai Narayan Vyas. He's a PhD in economics. He was the health minister of Gujarat. And Jai Narayan Vyas told me that his boss was very much impressed by the article. And he wanted me to go over to Ahmedabad to talk to his people. They sent the ticket, I went, and I liked the way they received me, and they put me up in a nice hotel. And the meeting was fixed for the following day at 10 o'clock. And when I reached there at 9:30, I thought the chief minister, as usual, will come late. But this man arrived there at 9:45, 15 minutes before time. And all the ministers and the secretaries were there by the time he came. And the meeting started at the dot at 10 o'clock. And he told me to talk about what I had written first, which I did for 1 hour. After which they questioned me for about 1.5 hours. Following which he spoke for about an hour about what I said, but unfortunately I didn't understand most of it because it is in Gujarati. Then the lunch followed. Everything worked like clockwork. And after lunch, he asked the others, he requested them to go out, and we had a one-to-one meeting for about 2 hours. Then we had tea, and he called all of them back and said, I have come to these conclusions from Professor Egde's talk, and these are the things I want to implement, and you do it tomorrow. And that was done. I think India needs very badly somebody like this to really get it back on its feet, because India was a great country. This is a crucial election where we have to be very careful in voting, and I have a feeling that we should vote for people who love India, who love the country, who love to administer, and who love to help others. Modi is a good person, a good human being. I don't think Modi is Hitler or fascist or anyone. Modi is a good human being. Very badly understood. I would say very well misunderstood human being. Lot of media publicity that you and I see, I don't think is true. And media, we all know how media works.